Howdy folks, Damon Turner, coming to the again with Turner's Tuesday Tips. So today we're going to start off part one of my three-part series talking about feeds and feeding. Part one is going to be the 5 questions you ask yourself before you decide on what feed to feed or what feed to purchase for your animal. Number 2, reading feed labels. This is very, very important because sometimes if you read those feed labels, they can get really confusing, and sometimes you don't know what's on those things and don't understand what's on them. So that'll lead us into part 3, to where we talk about more detailed information and more detailed descriptions of what you see on those feed labels, and we can explain what you need and what's important to your animal on those labels in part 3. Number 1, age. Always take the age of your animal in consideration when you decide to buy feed or trying to figure out what feed to purchase, because at different stages of their life, they're obviously going to need different nutritional needs, nutritional values, with their feed. A young animal needs a good foundation for digestion, bone growth, things of that nature. An older horse might not need that, but they also might have some issues or underlying issues that you might need to take in consideration. They could have teeth missing. They could have digestion issues, things of that nature. So make sure whenever you decide on what feeds you want to use or what feeds you want to utilize or purchase, take those things in consideration. The age of your animal, what level of advancement your animal's at, and also, if they're older, underlying conditions. Number 2, physical makeup and use. Okay. When you say physical makeup, you want to think about, is your horse a stud? Is this a bull? Is this a lactating mare? Is this an open heifer? Certain things like that you want to take in consideration when you also want to purchase feed, because a lot of those feeds that you purchase are specifically made and calculated for those particular needs for that animal. Okay. Physical use. Don't think about discipline as the reason why you're feeding animal a certain thing. You want to think about your intensity. You want to think about duration. You want to think about the levels that your horse is active at a certain amount of time or a time span. So you want to think about low to moderate and then moderate to high. Think about those 3 different things when you're deciding what level of feed you want to give your animal, because if your animal does a lot of activity for a long amount of time and is very intense, you might want a higher energy feed. So we'll get into that later, but think about it: physical makeup and level of activity. Number 3, medical issues or underlying issues. You always want to make sure that you are up to date or in the know of any issues that your animal might have, as far as when it comes to medical issues. It could be ulcers, it could be allergies. So make sure you consult a veterinarian and something like that to make sure that you're not feeding your animal something that different animals does not need or does not accept, because you do not want to get any more issues from not having the correct diagnosis, the correct knowledge of what your animal may need. So number 3, medical issues or underlying issues. Okay, make sure you consult a professional and see what they can do or what your animals can and can't have, because just like a human, animals can have allergies as well, and so take that in consideration. Number 4, body conditioning scores and body weight. Okay, with cattle we do talk a lot about body conditioning, body scores, and things like that. And with any other animal, you need to be mindful: is your animal too fat? You need to be mindful how much your animal weighs, if you can get a weight scale or things like that. You need to know your body conditioning score of your animal, because that also will dictate what you purchase, what you feed, and what you need to feed to make sure that animal's healthy. So there's different apparatuses you can use. Typical weight scale at the vet's office, and 2, you can buy a simple weight tape from Purina or any type of other organization that might have them. What this does is you just take that tape, you wrap around your animal, and it gives you a level and gives you a spot that says that, okay, here's the approximate weight of your animal. It's pretty simple, but like I said, body conditioning and body weight is very important to consider when you decide to buy a feed or purchase a feed. So number 4, body weight, body conditioning score. Number 5, forage and roughage. Okay, pasture grasses, hay, fiber, things like that. Why is this important? Because this is very important for digestion in any animal that eats, even humans. So our roughage is solids, their roughage is grasses and hays and things like that. So think about it: an animal needs 1.5% of their body weight a day of roughage or forage to be able to digest and have good digestional function. Okay, so I suggest you do this. Maybe get with your county extension agent, have them come out to your place, have do plant ID, tell them what foliage and what things you have in your pasture that is edible for animals, that is not edible for animals. So that'll help you dictate as well. Next thing is, if you do realize that there's some kind of deficiency in your pasture, in your foliage, or your roughage, you can also supplement it with alfalfa cubes. You can purchase the hay at places like Track Supply and things like that. But make sure you are mindful of your forage and your roughage. So, like I said, 5 questions to ask yourself before you purchase feeds or try to figure out what feeds you need for your animals. 1 is age. 2, physical makeup. 3, medical or underlying issues. 4, body conditioning scores and body weight. And number 5, available forage and roughage. Okay, so hope this was helpful. Just want to do a quick video for you. Once again, thank you for supporting Turner's Tuesday Tips and Shades of Agriculture with DT. So see you soon. Till next time. Y'all take it easy.